Sorry about that. Had to take off my glasses. Sucks being nearsighted and having to type. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frantic Freedom Fridays episode. As I mentioned in Thursday's video, I do apologize for the lateness of this video. That's why I'm in the process of doing 3 to 4 videos tonight, which you'll see me pretty much dressed the same. I want to get past caught up, put up, and get 1 or 2 in the can, as they say. So today is Frantic Freedom. Got a kind of a serious topic, but first, gotta love the winter. We got a $500+ electric bill because we had 3 weeks that we were down in negative digits, and we had to run the heaters because we have no central air heating. Not quite sure how we're going to pay that with all the other bills that we have, plus repair the water lines that got damaged during that time. Gotta love life. The reason for this being late is we had our daughter, surprisingly, spring us by coming over and spending a couple of nights with us, which is always fun. It kind of threw me off my broadcasting schedule, but it was an enjoyable visit. I like touching base with her, getting to know where her head's at any particular point in time, or and what concerns with life that she has. And it does good for the kids to see her extra time. So I have a serious question for everyone out there. As Frantic Freedom means to be able to speak whatever's on my mind, rant, rave, and whatnot. And, I've introduced everybody this past week to my health problems, plus the fact I'm transgender, to Nana James' health problems and what she's going through. And in this last episode, Toddler Tales Thursday, I gave everybody kind of an overview of the grandkids and what their disabilities are. So it's only natural that I ask this. I smile a lot. Quick-witted, sarcastic remark. Always a happy-go-lucky type of person. Really don't let anything, with the last couple of years, get to me. Part of because I'm focused on everything that's going on around me, and I don't have time to, what's the word I'm looking for, reflect. But what happens when you become ready for death? What happens when that spark that we had when we were younger and the excitement of life isn't there because life has beaten the living hell out of us? Not so much depression, but the excitement being gone. What then? When I last saw my grandmother on my mother's side, we pretty much both knew that that was the last time I was going to see her. Same thing that happened with Brett's mother's, or my son's mother's figure, grandmother. Went and saw her in the hospital, and she said, when I left, I joked about bringing her some chocolate chip cookies, and she said goodbye, and that was something she'd never said before. She knew it was time. We both knew that I wouldn't see her again. But my question is, what happens when the spark and the excitement of life gets beaten out of us? how do we reignite that? Or do we? You know, I've accepted my life as a blessing because I was told I'd be dead at 35 when I had my first stroke. So each day of life is a blessing. But, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I was excited about life. I wanted someone, I was looking forward to my son moving on and me adapting to life on my own. I was excited about work. I was excited about what the future had to bring. And then after a while, life beats you down. You know, I deal with the reality of the fact every day that the woman I love could be gone the very next. Now, in my case, you know, I mean, this is probably the last woman that will ever be in my life because of my being transgender. It's a hard pill for any woman to swallow. I got lucky and got one of the good ones. And I dread what life will be like when she's gone. Because we've made a life the last 8 years of being together and living every moment and enjoying every moment we have together. You know, my grandkids, I will be 66 by the time the last one moves out. So I have to switch. When she passes, I have to switch from a couple raising the grandkids to raising them on my own. And that's a big item to go through. And I know that by the time they're out of the house, you know, I'm going to be too tired to really do anything if I'm alive. I mean, I'm blessed. Don't get me wrong. Don't take this as a negative thing, because I'm extremely blessed to have my grandchildren in the home on a daily basis, despite any headaches we have to deal with. You know, to have a grandchild, come up and give you a hug before bedtime, or want to crawl up on the couch next to you and lay with you and just spend time with you is a beautiful thing. It's a lot more stressful than, not so much more stressful, I'm sure we had the same stress when we raised our kids. It's just a lot more stress with 3 of them. But what happens when you really don't know what life's going to bring? How can you be excited about it when you know you're going to lose a loved one, when you know the grandkids are eventually going to be gone, at a time where, I don't know, I guess in the 60s, 70s, 80s, that's the time that family becomes most important, and you're for the first time finding family's not around. You know, I'm not as energetic as I was in regards to life. Spilled coffee all over my cup this morning. Can't you tell? But what happens when you don't have that energy that you have as a youth? I mean, I used to take pictures all the time, you know. But then Nana Jay and I, we used to go out at midnight to eat before we had the grandkids. Uh, which is why when we do have a little bit of time with the grandkids gone, we try to make the most of it. Um, an example, tonight we went and had a we had a late lunch, early dinner, because those are the moments that get us through. We'll never be able to go to Holland like we wanted to. We'll be lucky if we get to Pittsburgh and Mass like she wants to before she dies. But right now, my question is, how do you get that spark once it's gone? In regards to life, life has beat us down, especially Nana J over the last couple of years with the cancer, her heart, now her Alzheimer's, her kidneys, her diabetes. It just beats and beats and beats and beats down on you. That's my question. How do you, I look at people I know, more so 20, 30 years younger than me. They have this real appeal for life. Even my mother and father have an appeal for life. Of course, they've spent the last 20 years with no kids. Though I know on Dad's end, he does think about death. That's why they made a point to give me a copy of their will and talk about what was going to happen and everything else. So, I know that. But I think his recent hospital visits also revitalized him towards life. But I just don't find myself excited about it anymore. I'm excited to see my grandkids grow. But at the same time, I know with the passing, I'll lose my wife. That doesn't make me excited about life. Because when that happens, the most important part of me is going to be gone. My son lives 600 miles away. I haven't seen him for a couple of years because he's got his own life to live. It's just, I don't understand it anymore. Each day with NJ is a blessing, but each day is one less. We get beat down. Seems like every day. Anytime we start looking forward towards something happens. I'm a week behind on my car payment. Week behind on our fridge and refrigerator. 2 weeks behind on my car payment. A week behind on our refrigerator and stove payment. Got a $550 electric bill because of the leak in the water. Went through about 1,000 gallons more there, and then the extra heat needed because of the coldest days that we had. And now I've got to replace the piping underneath the house. As if that wasn't enough, we have Jen's next MRI coming up. It's just one thing after another after another. Plus, of course, have the IRS still deducting me. I'm not going to see my income taxes again this year because of a mistake a couple years ago when we were told we could file with the kids and we couldn't file with the kids. We won't talk about how many thousands of dollars of that. So that money's gone. She wants to go this summer to Pittsburgh to see our son, and then go to Mass to see a friend she grew up with, her brother, and visit her mother's gravesite. Those are the biggie things on her bucket list. And we sit here. How can you be excited about life when it seems like a hassle? You know, on one hand, another 3 years, we'll have the house paid off. Her life expectancy is only 3 years. Bittersweet. I hope she lives another 10. Once the house is paid off, you can afford to do more things. Of course, by then, grandkids will need things. Of course, grandkids always need things. Just when you think a kid fits in something, they outgrow it. But I'm just curious, what makes you excited about life? What drives you forward when life is beating you down as far as you feel you can go? Or have you reached the point where life is just existing day by day? There's a lot of us out there. I think it becomes even more so the older you get. Nana Jay and I wanted to travel. Wanted to travel and wanted to watch the grandkids grow, and yeah, we gotta watch time tick away. God bless her. The biggest thing, she's a hell of a woman. She's my strength. With all the shit I face, being who I am, she's been my biggest supporter. When she could have looked at me and went, she allows me to be me in every way. With everything she's been through, you would think most people would have a mental breakdown, and yet she comes out stronger every time. How can you not admire somebody like that? She bends over backwards despite being spit on by others. She bent over backwards for my oldest boy. Basically got told, because of me being the way I am, she bent over backwards to make sure that the grandkids had a home. She's helped out others and been taken advantage of. And, she comes, it never stopped her. It doesn't stop her. Every day she gets up early and takes make sure the grandkids are ready for school and gets them off. Thought of herself. We both make sure that they're taken care of before we are. But she'll even go extra. Well, we both go extra, I guess, but it's hard to be excited about life when you know what loss is coming. Maybe you all out there have the answers. I don't. Like I said, it's not depression. Don't have time to be depressed. It's just, I can't be excited about life when I know what's coming. Looking forward in life is looking for the good things, but I know what life has to bring for me. Because it's a major loss of a part of me. We're the nanas. Certain places we walk into, they know us. Though, who'd forget me? But she is the completion of me. And she's my strength. And I can't be excited about life knowing what life is going to bring. Possibly in the next couple of years. Maybe part of it is because I'm afraid of looking forward into life. And looking forward into life with her. And life is going to kick me in the gut. I used to make plans. I used to have all kinds of things planned. And life, they've always fallen through. I was looking at, my last wife, I was looking forward to retirement, traveling, and she turned into be a cycle. I looked forward to being able to travel throughout the United States with Nana Jay, and that wasn't in the cards. I had hoped my son would be here. We used to look forward to Christmases because our agreement was he'd be here. But he's got other priorities he's got to take care of. I don't, maybe I'm not excited about life because I don't want to make plans and be disappointed when I lose her about what we won't have been able to have done. But that's the rant for today. So the question to you, what do you do to keep that spark? Oops. What do you do to stay excited about life? Or is life just a blur of days? Do you just get through the next day and not think about what's coming? Or are you ready, if death knocked on your door, are you ready to say, okay? I know Christians like to believe in everlasting life, eternal life. No, thank you. Why would you want to live forever? I'm tired. I'm ready for my rest. Not to mention there's no PS4. I just don't understand. I don't care how happy you are. Forever is forever. Eternal life is eternal. Sounds boring. No rest. Maybe that's why I don't believe. Or I should say, my belief is not the same. I believe our energy goes back to the world. But I don't believe that Dawn's going to be Dawn forever. I hope not. I'm tired. I'm looking forward to eternal rest. At least once my grandkids are out of the house. If they are. You guys have heard me talk about them. I talked about them in the last episode, in Thursday's episode. They may live with me till I'm 100. God, I hope not. I don't know. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You tell me. Until next week or the next episode, I want to wish everyone well. Hope you are all doing well. I want to thank you for tuning on. If you liked what you heard today, please be sure to like the video. If you have topics you'd like to discuss, or you have comments or the answers to my questions, feel free to leave your comment. And as always, it's always greatly appreciated if you take the time to hit the subscribe button so you can be kept up to date on the next video. Until next week, next Frantic Friday, this is Nana D saying, take care of one another.